I'm building a wood deck, and I know from experience that if I don't plan ahead now, I'm definitely going to have problems later. Specifically today, I'm talking about the top cap on the guardrail. Now, this miter joint right here looks fantastic. You know what it's going to look like in 3 weeks? Crap! The toe is going to contract in and the heel is going to pull away. You find me a deck that's a month old that doesn't have a miter joint like that on the top cap, and I'll give you a free book. To combat that, and what this is wet wood shrinking. All wet wood shrinks. All miters made with wet wood are going to behave like this. To combat that, I developed what I call a stepped joint. Effectively, it makes the entire transition around the deck guard cap a bunch of butt joints. This will stay essentially like this for years. On this project today, I've refined a couple of the things I've learned here to do what I'm calling a radius joint. Instead of butt joints all over the place, I cut a curve with my compass, I matched it on the opposing piece, and I'm going to show you in this video how we put all that together and integrate it on our wood deck project. Before I get started with the actual top cap, there's one more bet I want to hedge. Are my posts, which I cut in place, absolutely perfect? Hell no. Is it possible that when I screw that 2x6 top cap down, I'm going to have visible light through here? Hell yes. And I don't want my customer to see it sitting over there on their couch or credenza. So I'm going to use joist tape as a gasket between the top of my guardrail and the bottom of my top cap. And all it takes is a little peel and stick. To get the first arc in this radius guard cap wood deck railing system, a little bit of arbitrary movement with the compass. I spread it to about as far as it'll go, and instead of aligning the stylus, what I'm looking for here is aligning the tip of the pencil so that when I swing the arc, it daylights there, but more importantly, it daylights here, right on the edge of the board. So it doesn't matter where this is. And I'd love to tell you there's some advanced geometry here, but it's a little bit arbitrary, and I like this shape. We'll cut this, and we'll use it to get the shapes that correspond all the way down the guardrail system. The reason I've swung this arc about 2 inches back from the end of the board is so that when I start to make the cut with my jigsaw, both sides of the shoe are on the work, and I don't have this thing tipping over a little bit. It gives me a much nicer cut. Exit the work slowly, don't force the saw. We want this to be about as nice as we can make it. Inch and an eighth. See, when I hit this with the router, it's all going to go together nicely. Okay, there are a couple of things going on here that I'm going to talk through instead of show, but they should make abundant sense if you've ever done a wood deck guardrail cap before. Basically, I need this corner and shape and reveal and overhang to both work here and transfer down there. I cut that last night. It doesn't quite fit, and I figured out why. Without getting too deep into the measurements and stuff, This fits this, and my reveals on either side of both posts are the same. The salient piece of information I need here is how far this extends past here. It's 5/8 of an inch. I know that now, so I'll put this back on layout where I know that fits. Then I'm going to take this down here. I'm going to figure out where 5/8 of an inch is past this post. That's this line. And as I said before, I cut this last night. I made a mistake. And all I need to do is line up my 5/8 with my existing curve. I'll trace that and cut that out. That means this is going to fit left to right and front to back this way in that little corner. Clear as mud? I think so. And if you're saying to yourself, man, that seems like a lot of work. You know what else is a lot of work? Crappy miters. I don't want my name on that. So with that piece cut correctly, I put it back on layout. Then, good there. This system seems to like 1 1/8 overhang this way. I'm going to put this up on blocks and use it to trace this one. Double check that I'm where I want to be. I'll use that to trace this so it'll look just like that, and we'll work our way down. Now we'll make this cut. Put this in place. That's good. This will get this. To get the end detail, I measure over to the center of the board. I open my dividers arbitrarily to 3 inches, describe the arc. I say describe the arc like I have the vaguest idea what I'm talking about. But I like that shape. I just took my square at 1 inch up the arc, cut it out with my jigsaw. Here's a tip. The top of this arc is essentially a square cut. So that means I have to go from cutting straight to a transition. In a 2x6, or really any board, when I go from straight to transition, obviously I have to pivot the saw, but what I like to do is, as I'm making that transition, is give the blade time to remove wood fiber by just pausing a beat so it can go up and down a few times, and that way I'm not flexing the blade when I make the turn. Got something in my eye as soon as you said rolling. Some safety glasses. Next step is, as you can plainly see, these are rough cut joints. To separate those shadow lines and give us a little wiggle room in this pressure treated lumber, round over bit. 1, 2. That's almost perfection in every direction. Yep. Tap it down to that pencil line. think I'm going to tap it a little bit right here too. Now we'll get these screwed down. 2 into the post. And then I like to get a couple through here. Part of what we're fighting is a twist in this 2x6. Oh, that's beautimous. That's Shadowline City, baby. Right there. That's even Steven. Then I'm using number 10x3 screws. Oh, that's glorious. We'll hit the router at the other end, come back through and fasten all these, and we have ourselves a top cap. Obviously, we have a few more things to do to wrap up the details on this deck. I don't think I'm done right now, but that's the basic gist of that radius corner. You can use it in a number of different places. I kind of invented it for a top cap on a wood retaining wall where no miter, no 90 was going to work. It was a mess. In any case, this wood's going to move, but it's all going to move together, unlike every miter in the world. Okay, got to get back to it.